Hi, it's Gab with my final review from the Toronto International Film Festival. My final of the TIFF 10, the 10 that I've done, this is number 10. This is a review of John Carpenter's The Ward. Now that might seem like a strange film festival film, but John Carpenter is considered quite an auteur in the horror genre, and the Toronto Film Festival covers every genre, and there's been certainly some highly anticipated horror ones at this year's film festival. I reviewed Let Me In, which was one of them, and this one maybe not as known or anticipated, but certainly true fans of the genre or John Carpenter fans and followers would have heard of this and been expecting it. The Ward. The Ward is about a central female, a young woman, a character played by Amber Heard, who we begin with not understanding what her issue is. She's on the run. She seems crazy. She's taken into a mental ward in sort of the typical sort of The Shining, big sort of gothic, seemingly half abandoned sort of mental institution. This is in the 60s, by the way, so there's that retro vibe to it, and put in a ward with a few other young women, so supposedly a female ward. Couple of other female characters, and she's doesn't really understand why she's there. She's trying to find out from the other characters, how can we get out of here, kind of thing. The other ones seem to have been there for a while. There's the really cuckoo one. There's the sort of the snotty one. So each of the other female characters are sort of a type, and she basically is not having any of this and wants to get out. And so she's trying to figure this ward out, as the audience is. And of course there's the sinister element. It's introduced that there's some sort of demonic figure of some sort of ghost or something that's stalking these characters and perhaps seemingly knocking them off one by one. Of course, the staff doesn't seem aware of any of this, and the other residents, the inmates, sort of are aware but are sort of nonchalant about it. So it's really, again, the central female character who's like, what the hell's going on here, basically. So that's the central premise. If it doesn't sound unique, I don't think it particularly is. I kept waiting for it to get more interesting or for the twist, but no, there's just this sort of demonic ghost figure that sort of shows up now and then and wants to knock the girls off one by one, and that's pretty much the extent of it. Now, I'm not particularly knowledgeable at all about the horror genre. I have nothing against it, but I'm not usually drawn to the sort of generic, typical kind of horror movies. I just don't know a lot about them. Of course, I know John Carpenter is, that's a name that's very sort of renowned in the genre, and is considered, the best of the best. And to have his name on something, I thought, well, this could be something interesting. I have no problem with getting scared in an intelligent and fun way. This movie is not it. Now, hardcore fans may love it on some level, but I have to say, for me, this is one of the worst movies I have seen in a long time. Yes, Dad, even worse than Transformers 2. This movie is terrible. It has nothing going for it. The story, there's nothing interesting there, and the supposed twists is completely lame, if not completely predictable. We've seen all these different elements that are involved here numerous times in other movies. So there's nothing original. The script is a clunker. The dialogue is laughable. The performances are terrible. I honestly thought this was maybe a satire or a spoof of the horror genre. That's how laughable it was, but I don't think it is. I mean, if I'm wrong, somebody tell me. And the directing, John Carpenter, why are you directing a movie like this and like you're a first-year film student? It was just awkward and cliched and had nothing to go for it at all. I have to say, of all the screenings I've been to at the film festival, and even as a regular film goer, I've never noticed so many people leaving a screening as I did with this one. So I don't think I'm alone here. Again, if you're a hardcore fan, you might get some pleasure out of this film on certain levels, and I can understand that, but for mainstream, just a casual horror film goer, I cannot recommend this movie at all. Unfortunately, my last one of the film festival is a real stinker, but that's okay. A film festival, this one had 339 films in it. You're going to have the whole range, and I've seen some films I really liked. This one, I'll give 1 gab out of 5. And that 1 gab is because the British guy from Mad Men has a sizable role, and I like him, so that's it. Worst of my 10, of my TIFF 10. Best, I would have to say, is a tie between Black Swan and The Town in terms of what I rated them. The Town is definitely a crowd pleaser, mainstream, great entertainment flick. Black Swan, a bit more artsy-fartsy, but it has a lot of interesting elements in it, and I was very pleased to have seen that at the film festival, and then all the ones in between. I hope you've enjoyed my reviews that I've brought you specifically from the film festival. It's been a mixed bag, but I've enjoyed every bit of it, and I hope you have too. Until next year, thanks for watching.